Lake Placid is home to the U.S. Bobsled and Skeleton Federation, and it's where Olympic hopefuls train, setting their sights on the upcoming Winter Olympics. The story of one of those athletes grabbed our attention, so today's Melissa Stark went to check it out. Hi, Melissa. Good morning.
Good morning, Katie. That's right, I did. And I got to meet Faisal Faisal. Yes, his first name is the same as his last. He's an Olympic hopeful in the sport of skeleton, and he's trying to accomplish something no one from his country has ever done before. Face down, head first, over a sheet of ice. Speeds approach 80 miles per hour. There are no brakes. What is it that you love about skeleton?
The speed, the excitement.
That was my first time ever seeing skeleton. Do you have to be a little bit crazy to do this?
You probably have to be a little bit not normal to do this, yeah.
Since January, 24-year-old Faisal Faisal has been training with the U.S. skeleton team, but he isn't an American. He was born in Baghdad and wants to become the first ever Iraqi athlete to compete in the Winter Olympics. When did you first decide that you wanted to represent Iraq in the Winter Olympics?
Back in '98, I was watching the opening ceremony of the Nagano Olympics, and I saw the nations when they came and marched in. Iraq wasn't one of them. And so I just had a vision that I was carrying the Iraqi flag walking into the opening ceremony, so I decided to take the responsibility and do it myself.
Why is it so important to you?
As a country, we need to do new things to move us forward.
When the war began in 2003, Faisal was a student studying in Australia. At first, worries about family and friends in Iraq caused him to abandon his Olympic dream. But soon, the desire returned to represent his country on the biggest stage in sport.
I really felt like I had to do something, but since the war was going on back home, there was no way for me to do anything to help. You just really feel confused, and you just feel like there's nothing you can do. So I decided that if I really wanted to fight for my country, it would have to be in a positive way. So I thought that my original goal of getting us to the Winter Olympics would be something ideal.
The sport of skeleton was not Faisal's first choice. First, he considered alpine skiing.
I had some trouble with that.
Then, snowboarding.
I kind of didn't make it to Salt Lake.
Next was speed skating, but he learned
Iraq is not eligible for the Olympics because they did not have an ice rink for the past 5 years.
After that didn't work out,
I started to consider ski jumping.
Finally, a friend recommended skeleton. Faisal asked to train with the Australian team, but was rejected.
At that point, I thought that I'll give the U.S. Bobsled and Skeleton Federation a try. And I rang them up, and they said that they wanted to make it happen.
After receiving assistance from the U.S. and Iraq Olympic committees, Faisal arrived in Lake Placid in January. Besides fitting in with American coaches and athletes, he had another obstacle to overcome. He had never even tried skeleton. You saw Faisal's first run.
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
It was pretty exciting. He was very nervous, and then he was able to, to harness that energy afterwards and get into it.
Faisal's first competition was in late January. He finished 32nd out of 37 athletes at the event. Not bad, considering he'd only been training for 3 weeks.
I was very happy with the result. Yeah, I was a little nervous, just a little.
Faisal says the U.S. athletes have been very helpful. He's been training alongside the Olympic champions from Salt Lake in both the women's and the men's skeleton.
The Olympics are about, bringing the world together in a peaceful, friendly competition, and there's a lot of trouble in Iraq, and I think that this is a great opportunity to try to bring us a little closer.
It's going to take a lot of support for him to get there, and so he'll need all of us to help him get there, and I think we want him.
So I have Tristan pushing me all the time, giving me just a 2-second handicap.
2.5 seconds.
Okay, 2.5 seconds.
Faisal will be leaving Lake Placid soon to return to his studies in Australia. Later this year, he plans to graduate from college with a degree in business management. Have you been having fun?
Sometimes when it's so cold, to the point that they almost cancel practice,
It's not fun.
It's not fun at all, but I still have to slide. I have to do it.
On those really tough days when it's very cold and you don't want to be doing this, how do you motivate yourself?
Compared to what folks are going through back home, it's a beautiful day. So I don't tend to think about that to motivate myself. I just think of how much it's going to mean for my country when I make it. So.
In the fall, Faisal hopes to return to Lake Placid and continue his quest to represent Iraq in Torino.
To me, all that matters is that I really have to get us into the Winter Olympics and carry our flag in the opening ceremony.
In order to be eligible for the Olympics, Faisal has to compete in 5 races on 3 different tracks. He's already got 2 races in Lake Placid under his belt, so we really could see him at the Games next year.
Well, listen, you have to give Faisal, I had to say his name, a gold medal for persistence, because this guy really wants to be in the Olympic Games. But realistically, Melissa, do you think he has a chance?
Well, all the coaches and all the athletes that we talked to were so impressed with him. They said he has the body type and the athletic ability to really be able to do it. And as you said, he's so determined.
I think anybody who does that deserves a medal, because it looks insane, doesn't it?
It is insane. Yeah, they wanted me to try it. I said, no, thank you.
I don't blame you, especially since you're pregnant.
Right.
Anyway, thanks.